Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanikam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Vyasadeva Gaur Bhakta Vrinda
Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Vyasadeva Gaur Bhakta Vrinda
Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Vyasadeva Gaur Bhakta Vrinda
Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Vyasadeva Gaur Bhakta Vrinda
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Rama
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Juta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatanitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Sri Vikakanitam Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Bhagavati Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Vyasadeva Gaur Bhakta
Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Vyasadeva Gaur Bhakta
Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna to all the devotees, Prabhu and Mataji. So we are now waiting for Padmanayana Prabhu to join with us. So please kindly be patient and waiting for him. And before, please introduce, I am Giridhari Das. I will be interpreting today for the Indonesian speaking devotees and also hosting this Zoom class for today. So later when the interpretation program is started, please kindly choose English if you are speaking English, dan untuk penyembah yang berbahasa Indonesia mohon memilih bahasa Indonesia so that we can communicate nicely. Hare Krishna. Please kindly wait for Padmanayana. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Sri Juta Padakamalang Sri Gurum Vaishnavamsam जगन्नाथान्वितं त्वं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्यदेवम् श्रीराधा कृष्णपदान् सगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौरभक्तवृंद श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौरभक्तवृंद
Hare Krishna, Padmanayana Prabhu. I will start.
Hare Krishna.
I will start the interpretation now.
Yeah, you can hear me?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Can hear.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Dandavat pranam.
I will start it now.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat pranam, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat pranam.
Yes, we will start now. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामीति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महवदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरतिसे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेष्वभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमा श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So we are in Canto 1, Chapter 5, where Nārada instructs Srila Vyasadeva on Srimad Bhagavatam. So kindly remind us what we are discussing in our previous lesson before we start with our lesson 3 in Unit 2. What we are discussing in the last class.
Prabhuji, we were discussing that how Vyasadeva was lost, was feeling despondent, and appearance of Nārada Muni and giving him the reason why he's feeling the despondency. And also Vyasadeva humbly submits that there is something, and he asks Nārada Muni to find out what's the problem. And Nārada Muni says that the glorification of the Supreme Personality was exclusively done in whatever work he has done previously. So he gives the instructions based on.
Okay. Rangamaya Prashant Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. So we saw about how Vyasadeva is also Nārada Muni is also condemning the compromising attitude of Vyasadeva, and tells him that the glorification of the Vedas that has been in the Vedas that has been done in terms of Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Okay, if that is propagated, then people will take that as a standard that they need to follow, which is not the right thing, and therefore they should follow Bhagavatam.
Yeah. Okay, last Koti Chandra Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhu. Also, he was asking, are you satisfied identifying yourself with the mind, actually? So, because the things he created was given for the people who they are identifying themselves with the mind. I mean, Vyasadeva not identifying himself with the mind, but the work he has done, the things was given for the people who they are identifying with the mind. So that's why he wants to instruct, like, also the Krishna created the vacuum in his mind for the delivery of Bhagavatam. So yeah, these are a few points we discussed.
Gopi Ganga Gita Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dagat Pranam. We also discussed about the conclusions of devotional service as revealed by repeatedly practicing sadhana bhakti, and we should not get attracted by the books of the flowery languages, and devotees are compared with the Hamsa. They live around the lotus. So similarly, they are deliberated to attain the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. So the Lord lives in the heart of the devotee, and devotee keeps the Lord in their heart. So they are not a separate one.
That's a very good point. Madan Man Prabhu.
Yeah, there was a question also we discussed about why even though Vyasadeva is an incarnation of God, how come he was in this confusion? I mean, how can he make mistakes? Yeah.
That was the will of the Lord. Krishna wanted.
Yeah. So then the conclusion, the answer given was discussed was it's. I mean, it's Krishna's. I mean, it's Krishna's will acted through Vyasadeva.
The Bhagavatam can appear. Through these incidents, Lord Krishna ensured that Bhagavatam became manifest through Vyasadeva again. Okay, so the general principle from Vyasadeva bliss satisfaction and discussed their relevance in our personal practice of Krishna consciousness, and explain the defect in the Vedic literatures and the compromising spirit of Srila Vyasadeva. So Srila Vyasadeva has compromised. Nārada Muni is telling that you have given these instructions in form of Puranas and Itihasas, where people will think this is the path, this is the Dharma. They will not know the goal of Dharma is to render devotional service unto the personality of Godhead. And in the mood of Nārada Muni, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he comments that those who are Pangu, Andha, those who are physically disabled people, they should become brahmachari, they should become sannyasi, because they are not qualified to this karma, marga. So in that way, people will totally misunderstand you. This is where you have compromised, and not a kind of no story that Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is talking. We can see in today's world, those people who are too much attached to karma, when they see some renunciants, they do criticize them. They say, you people don't have anything to do. Now you have become sadhu, you are a burden for the world. You don't want to work. Now you are running away from your responsibility. Why don't you just perform karma? So, same thing, Vyasadeva is saying that you should not have done so. So then Vyasadeva further substantiates his point. And Srila Sridhar Swami is saying, Nanu, jadi evam pravritti margo nindyate tarhi nivritti margo sarva kriya tyagenaiva parameshwara sukha swarupanubhute kim tajasa kathanena apitatraha. So if somebody asks a question that Nārada Muni, you are condemning the path of bhoga, pravritti marga, and you are asking to follow the nivritti marga, path of renunciation. There are two paths, pravritti marga and nivritti marga. If you condemn the path of enjoyment and you are stressing so much in the path of renunciation, well, I can stop performing all these activities, and in that way I can also experience the happiness of the Supreme Lord, and I'll try to connect with the Supreme Lord. Why it is so important that one must hear about or glorify the activity, the pastime of the personality of Godhead? If this is the question, Sri Nārada Muni, he responds. In fact, we find some people in this world today who take to the path of renunciation, follow the speculative process of knowledge, and they don't sufficiently take to the path of glorification to the personality of Godhead. So for them, Sri Narad Muni responses, Vichakshano sharahati veditum vibhu anantaparasya nivrittitah sukham pravartamanasya gunairanatmana tato bhavandarshaya chastitam vibhu. The Supreme Lord is unlimited. Only a very expert personality, retired from the activities of material happiness, deserves to understand this knowledge of spiritual values. Therefore, those who are not so well situated due to material attachment should be shown the path, shown the ways of transcendental realization. By your goodness, through descriptions of the transcendental activities of the Supreme Lord. Vichakshana asya arhati veditum behu anta parisana vrittita sukham. Those who are vichakshana, wise people, they have already given up the desire for material happiness. They have taken retirement from nivrittita sukham, from material happiness. And pravartamanisya gunairanatmana. There are some people who, by the influence of the modes of material nature, they are still trying to enjoy. But for both of them, if you tata bhavan darsha chastitam vibhum chastitam, the activities of the Supreme Lord should be described. Then both of them can find shelter in your explanation, so that one's heart should be devoted to the desirable, to describe the glory of the Supreme Lord. So here the Narad Muni is saying that when one is either wise man who has given up the enjoyment from the material happiness, or one who is still attached, but if they dedicate themselves to the activities of the personality of Godhead, that's how the heart will become purified. So in that way, it is very, very essential. So then the next, expert persons understand the blissful nature of the Supreme Lord. So glorification of admirable pure devotion is starting from text number 17 through 19. In these three verses, Narad Muni is going to glorify the pure devotional service. That's why he's speaking. In the beginning, Siddhar Swami actually writes, Evam tavat kamya dharmade anartha hetutvam vihaya. So those who are engaged in kamya karma. Kamya karma is the root cause of all anarthas, unwanted things. That's why one should give up those things, and he should dedicate his life in Shravanam and Kirtanam program or devotional service unto the personality of Godhead. That's why he's saying it is not essential that everybody should dedicate themselves to the activities of their occupations, occupational engagements, varnashram duties. That's why Narad Muni says, Tyaktva swadharmam charanam bhujam hare bhajan apakvatha patittato jadi jatra kuva bhadram abhodamusya kim kovartha aptam bhajatam swadharmatah. One who has forsaken his material occupations to engage in the devotional service of the Lord may sometimes fall down while in an immature stage. Yet there is no danger of his being unsuccessful. On the other hand, a non-devotee, though fully engaged in occupational duties, does not gain anything. So there are people who are engaged in just nitya, naimittika dharma. But here the Nārada is saying what benefit they can gain by executing such kind of occupational duties. Oh, one may say when somebody started Bhagavad Bhakti Yoga, the process of devotional service, and because of bad association, he is not able to reach with the perfection in the execution of Krishna consciousness, or even if somebody is doing the Krishna conscious activities properly, before he attains his perfection, if he leaves his body, what will happen to him? It looks like he is kind of losing. At least somebody who is engaged in such kind of nitya naimittika dharma, he is performing some duty. So why are you stopping him? And these are recommended in the Shastra. That's why Bhajan Pakotha Patet Tato Jadi Tatra Kova Bhadram. There is no Bhadra. There is no danger. Because in Bhagavad Gita we have heard they will start from where they were left with. Means the experience of Bhakti Yoga will bring him back again. He will release. There are some devotees I know who left the society. Just few days back, one devotee told me, when I joined in 1994, that time I was serving in here in Mayapur, and there was a devotee who was actually serving with me. Then something happened. He left Mayapur. He went back to his home. Now he's staying there. And just few days back, one devotee told me, he said, Prabhu, this devotee you remember? I said, of course I know him. He said, now he's telling me, can you find something for me in Mayapur? I want to go back. So then he said he's feeling very lonely. He's not very happy in his house. And he's remembering all these experiences in Mayapur Dham. So this is the point, that when a devotee, he by some misfortune, they stop the connection with such kind of practices, and after some time their experiences, the realizations will bring them back, and they will feel like starting this devotional service again. So that is why there is no loss in executing Krishna conscious activities. Therefore, everybody should just simply focus on executing the devotional service under the personality of Godhead. So here it is said, it so happens sometimes that one surrenders himself unto the service of the Lord by some temporary sentiment. And in the long run, due to so many other reasons, he falls down from the path of service by undesirable association. Even though one falls down from the prescribed duties of devotional service, you'll never forget the lotus feet of the Lord. Here we can see so many examples we are giving. The examples of Maharaj Bharata, Chitraketu, Ajamil. Ajamil, when he was a young man, he was performing his Brahminical activities perfectly. And so happened that one time he went to the forest to collect Samidha for the yajna, and he came in contact with some undesirable events where he saw on the road a Shudra was embracing a Shudrani, and that actually attracted Ajamil's mind, and Ajamil afterwards he brought that prostitute and kept him, and he forgot all his activities. But even though they fall down, you can see at the end by Lord's arrangement, they are saved. Bharat Maharaj also, even though they fall down, Chitraketu. So similarly, those who are engaged in devotional service, they should know this process of bhakti is indestructible. Anyone can be nicely situated in the execution of this bhakti yoga process. So here it is said, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he is making a very beautiful comment in this connection. Some people, they feel you devotees in Krishna consciousness don't perform these ritualistic ceremonies which are offered in the Vedas. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is saying, Nanu, na buddhi vedam janat jnanam karma sanginam dasyat sarva karmani vidyan jutta samacharam iti Sri Gitopanishadoktena karma tyajanam nisiddham. In Bhagavad Gita, it is said that one should not stop these ajnas, those who are ignorant fellows, to perform these karmas. Then why you are kind of, saying that karma is not necessary? Yes, karma is necessary for chitta suddhi. And but those who are executing bhakti, bhaktistu swatah प्रावल्याद अंतःकरण शुद्धि पर्यंत अनपेक्षकत्वात्. So bhakti is so powerful that it does not require antakarana shuddhi. No bhakti upadestu vishayam. Therefore, those who are engaged in instructing about the science of devotional service, they are not supposed to instruct about karma marga. Even Krishna is speaking in Bhagavad Gita, Sarva Dharman Parityajya Amamekam Saranam Braja. Even in Bhagavatam also it is said that just like, why you can ask the question, when this is also a path recommended in the Vedic literature, why you devotees who are preaching the cult of devotional service do not instruct people about following these Vedic rituals, karma marga. Swayam nishchesam vidvan na bhaktam kya karma hi narati rogina pathyam vanchitopi visaktama. So here it is said that one who knows the highest good, I mean to say, those who know that only good can be attained by being engaged in the devotional service, then how can they instruct someone to follow karma? Because the point is here, those who are engaged in karma, why they are engaged in karma? Even people, the brahmanas who are helping their yajamanas to execute this karma, it is said that Bhagavad Vakya Balan Nitya Naimittika Swadharma Nishthayapi Tyajanaiva Kevalai Hari Bhakti Rupa Upadeshtu Vya Iti Asana Tattvam Bhajana Aramba dasayam api karmanu vritti nisiddha. In this verse, according to Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, that from the beginning of when somebody starts practicing devotional service, from the very beginning, they don't have to practice this karma. Just as an experienced physician, he does not recommend his patient to take food which is injurious to his health, even if the patient desires so. So the point is here, when an expert physician does not give this medicine to the patient, doesn't give the food to the patient, even the patient desires it. Similarly, a bhakti yogi, one who instructs about the science of bhakti, he will never ever try to instruct someone on the path of karma, because that is injurious to Krishna conscious health. So that is why here it is saying that one should not instruct him like that. There's another is also saying, give up your occupational engagements and take full shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna. Therefore, tasyaiva hetuh prayateta kovido na labhyate yadhamatam paryadha tallabhyate dukkhavadanyatah sukham kalena sarvatra gabhiraram hasa. So here it is said, where is it? Why I'm not able to see this? Yeah. You can see the slide? Okay.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Yes, Prabhu.
Can you read from the slide?
Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Wise men, glorification of admirable pure devotion, 1.5, 17 to 19. Wise men are not deluded by happiness in this and the next life, 1.5.18. Persons who are actually intelligent and philosophically inclined should endeavor only for that purposeful end, which is not obtainable even by wandering from the topmost planet, Brahmaloka, down to the lowest planet, Patala. As far as happiness derived from sense enjoyment is concerned, it can be obtained automatically in course of time, just as in course of time we obtain miseries even though we do not desire them.
Tasyaiva hetu pratita kovida. Those who are learned in devotional service, they know that even if by performing this karma, one is successful and they are promoted to the Chandraloka planet, and they are given opportunity to have higher type of sense gratification. But he understands that even if I keep on traveling from Patahaloka to Brahmaloka, this bhakti sukha is not available there. Na labhyate yad bhamatam paryadha. Even if going up and down. Tal labhyate dukkham badanyata sukham kalena sarvatra gaviraram hasa. Prabhupada also explained, and many times he also speaks the same thing. Ahara nidra bhayamaithunancha samanyametat pasubhinara dharma hi tesam adhika vishesha dharmena hina pasubhi samana. So these ahara nidra bhayamaithun, eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, these activities or the sukha, the happiness derived from these four principles, is obtainable easily in any form of life. Even if somebody who is engaged in an animal body, they can also get this kind of happiness. So that's why we should not desire for those kind of happiness. And happiness and distresses are always available. Just like without seeking for happiness, happiness comes. Similarly, without seeking for distress also, they come to us. That's why those who are wise people, they don't give much emphasis into all these things. Therefore, he says, Navai jano jatu kathanchana brajet mukunda sevyanyavadanga sansitim smaran mukundang hriupaguhanam puna vihatumichenna sograho janaha. My dear Vyasa, even though a devotee of Lord Krishna sometimes falls down somehow or other, he certainly does not undergo material existence like others, fruity workers, etc. Because a person who has once released the taste of lotus feet of the Lord can do nothing but remember that ecstasy again and again. This is a very interesting point. Servant of Mukunda is never returning to the cycle of birth and death. Why? Mukunda Sabya Anavadyanga Samsitim Smaran Mukundangri Paguhanam Puna. This is the example I just gave just a few minutes before, that this devotee who was in Mayapur and he was serving very nicely, somehow he left. Now he is remembering, even though maybe sometimes devotees are not so much attached to the Mukunda, but at least they can experience the happiness they were enjoying in the association of devotees. In some karmic estimation, they may say, well, maybe he is not able to get good food at home, or he is kind of missing this opulent life that ISKCON devotees are leading. Maybe that's why he is desiring to come back. Somebody may sarcastically make a comment like this, but I would say, for whatever reason may be, at least he is remembering the good association of the devotee, temple atmosphere, every day how you are attending temple program and all. So if a neophyte devotee can think like this, and it is going this kind of attraction to devotional experiences is bringing him back to the devotional practice, then what to speak of the devotees who are in a high class consciousness, who are very much attached to the lotus feet or the service of Mukunda. Definitely he will not be able to give up. This is called Rasagraha Jana. This Rasagraha have been defined by Srila Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur in a way where he is saying Rasagraha Jana. He is saying, right? You can see it, right? Yeah, he is saying she is giving the quotation from Padma Puran, na karma bandhanam janma vaishnavanam chavidyate. Those who take up this Vaishnava path, they don't come back to the samsara. Why? Purvabhyasat eva mukundangri upaguhanam manasa pariswangam smaran punah tyaktum na ichet. Once who is engaged in the service of Mukunda, he will not be able to give up that opportunity. Or it is said that even if sometimes because of some misfortune we leave this practice of devotional service, then from our experience when we return back, at that time, actually he is becoming prideless. That kind of experience, what he has gone through after giving up Krishna consciousness, then when he kind of equate with his experience in Krishna consciousness, makes him prideless, and he comes back to perform his sadhana, and this time he is 100% surrender, and he's saying that now Mukunda, my life should be in the hand of Mukunda. Why? In this higher consciousness, here it says Rasagraha Jana. Rasagraha means he experiences some sort of sweetness in the devotional service. And somebody may say, well, a devotee in the beginning, how does he experience this kind of happiness? So Rasagraha Jana, here it is said, when we perform these devotional activities, Nishtha, Ruchi, Asaktiyante, Rati Dasayam, Sakshad, Eva Raso, Bhavet. So this experience of rasa, this superior happiness, takes place when one attends the stage of rati, means vow. That is coming after nishtha, ruchi, and asakti. But the point is, bhajanasya prarambha dine api prachannataya rasan aswa rasang sattvam asti eva. How? You see, when we start Krishna consciousness, devotional service as a new devotee, in the beginning also we experience some sort of happiness. The example have been given that when we start eating food, automatically we feel satisfaction, strength, and our hunger is gone. So in the similar fashion, we see there are some devotees who start their Krishna conscious activities with the devotees. Their attachment to material world is automatically disappearing. And when the attachment to the material world disappears, they experience a sort of happiness in Krishna consciousness in the beginning time. So in that way, rasa is experienced at the stage of sadhana practice, in the beginning of the sadhana practice. That is why Srila Prabhupada is making the comment in his purport. A devotee of the Lord automatically becomes uninterested in the enhancement of material existence because he is rasagraha, or one who has tasted the sweetness of the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. Pure devotional service is so spiritually realizable that a devotee becomes automatically uninterested in material enjoyment. Bhakti parishanubhava and virakti anyatra. Here, he becomes automatically uninterested in material enjoyment. That is the sign of perfection in progressive devotional service. A pure devotee continuously remembers the lotus feet of Lord Sri Krishna and does not forget him even for a moment, not even in exchange for all the opulence of the three worlds. Even if he is given with the opulence of the three worlds, still he is not desirous to enjoy the worldly happiness. So now in the next, he is speaking. Okay, text number 20, right? This is talking about the knowledge of the worshipable Lord. What happened? Okay. Idam hi vishwam bhagavani vetaro jata jagatsthana nirodham sambhava tadhi swayam veda bhavan tathapite pradesamatram bhavatah pradarsitam. So here, when Nārada Muni is speaking that you must glorify the personality of Godhead, so who this personality of Godhead is? Idam hi vishwam bhagavan ivitara yato jagat sthana nirodha sambhava. He is saying that, my dear Vyasadeva, you know that there is only one Supreme Lord, that everybody should glorify him. And what is his identification? His identification has been described here, that from whom jato jagat sthana nirodha sambhava. So from whom this cosmic cosmos becomes manifest, and he kind of maintains it, and also he is the cause of annihilation. Means after the annihilation he remains. So he is the beginning, he is in the middle, he is there in the middle, and also at the end, after annihilation, only he remains. You must speak, describe about such Lord, who, from whom this cosmos become manifest, and also it rests in him, and he also, after annihilation, enters into him, means he remains after annihilation. So this is why he is speaking that you must speak about him. So that have been further described in Prabhupada's purport. Can somebody read from the slide?
For a pure devotee, the conception of Mukunda, Lord Shri Krishna, is both personal and impersonal. The impersonal cosmic situation is also Mukunda because it is the emanation of the energy of Mukunda. For example, a tree is a complete unit, whereas the leaves and the branches of the tree are emanated parts and parcels of the tree. The leaves and branches of the tree are also the tree, but the tree itself is neither the leaves nor the branches. The Vedic version that the whole cosmic creation is nothing but Brahman means that since everything is emanating from the Supreme Brahman, nothing is apart from him. Similarly, the part and parcel, hands and legs are called the body, but the body as the whole unit is neither the hands nor the legs. The Lord is the transcendental form of eternity, cognition, and beauty, and thus the creation of the energy of the Lord appears to be partially eternal, full of knowledge, and beautiful also. Purport of 1.5.20.
So here the philosophy have been explained that Idam hi Vishwam Bhagavan. This cosmos is Bhagavan. Like some people say everything is God. Yes, how everything is God? We need to explain this philosophy very clearly, that this cosmos is God, you are also God, your hand. Just like Prabhupada is giving the analogy, the leaves and branches of the tree are also the tree, because it is connected with the tree and it can be understood in relationship with the tree. Sometimes when we see some opulence, maybe some Babu, he has a big establishment. When we go there, we actually see Sham with his establishment. We don't separate it from him. Similarly, this is called Atidesa. Atidesa means it is an extension, it's an extensive understanding of the personality of Godhead. How the personality of Godhead can be perceived through his creation. That is the understanding. Not that, that's what it's saying. Idam hi Vishwam Bhagavan ivetara jata jagat sthana nirodha sambhava. So because this jagat, this cosmos is coming from him, therefore it is non-different from him. Or you can say, this is the extensive understanding, extended understanding about the personality of Godhead, that he has extended himself in form of his energy, which is nothing but a cosmos. Just like Prabhupada giving the analogy of the leaves and branches of the tree are also the tree. Similarly, you have the kind of body, the legs, hands are called the body. But the body as the whole unit is neither the hand nor the legs. That's the thing. Bhagavan Ivetara. Even though Bhagavan, the Supreme Lord, is this cosmos, or you can say this is also Bhagavan, this cosmos, but Ivetara, it is different. Just like legs and hands are called body, but as a whole unit, they are not body, they are separate. Similarly, Lord is also separate from this cosmos. That is what, about whom you must glorify, you must describe about him, that personality of Godhead. So this is the knowledge of the worshipable Lord being described here. Then in text number 21, he continues, Tamatmanatmanamavehamoghdrik parasya pumsa paramatmana phalam kalam ajam prajatam jagata shivayata mahanubhava hyudayo diganyatam. So okay. So here the result of karma, penance, jnana, vairagya, everything is coming. That is explained in text number 22. Okay, let us read the translation. I didn't read translation for this 21. Your goodness has perfect vision. You yourself can know the Supreme Personality of Godhead because you are present as the plenary person of the Lord. Although you are birthless, you have appeared on this earth for the well-being of all people. Please therefore describe the transcendental pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Sri Krishna more vividly. Parasya Pumsa Paramatmana Kalam. Kalam means you are the plenary expansion of the Personality of Godhead. That's why Ajam Prajatam Jagata Shivayata. Actually, you have appeared to do good for all people. Those who are trying to become the devotee of the Lord, or those who are simply trying to enjoy this world, you have come to to do well-being, for the well-being of all people. Therefore, you must glorify the transcendental activities of Sri Krishna. Prabhupada is directly mentioning. And idam hi pumsas tapasah sutasya va svistasya suktasya cha buddhi dattayo abhichutartho kavibhi nirupita jaduttama shoka gunanuvarnanam. So he is saying that there are different kind of executions that people accept. Like some people take the path of karma, some others they perform some penances, some cultivate jnana, some cultivate vairagya, others take the path of mystic yoga. Some people they perform some charity activities, and some others are also attached to dharma. So whatever one is trying to achieve by being engaged in such kind of activities, they can get their respective results just by being engaged in devotional service. That's why idam hi pumsas tapasa sutasya va. By tapasya, by the study of the Veda, sustasya suktasya chabuddhidate avityudartha kabibhinirupta. This is the conclusion established by the wise people, Kavis. And therefore, you must describe the guna, the qualities of the personality of Godhead. Learned circles have positively concluded that the infallible pure purpose of the advancement of knowledge, namely austerity, study of the Vedas, sacrifice, chanting of hymns, and charity, culminates in the transcendental descriptions of the Lord, who is defined in choice poetry. So that means whatever uh, is recommended in the Veda, they're all ultimately meant to bring one to the stage of bhakti. So that means by the execution of bhakti, one can very easily attain the end result of studying Veda, cultivating jnana, vairagya, or mystic yoga, even performing the charity work, whatever. So then the next section, this set of verses starting with text number 23 unto 28, we have selected one open book question for you. With reference to the life of Nārada during previous kalpa, explain the process of appearance of pure bhakti and its growth up to the stage of prema, and share your aspirations in view of the phenomenon described in 1:5:23 to 28. Is question clear? You need further clarification on the question? Any doubt on this question? Because I want you to kind of understand this question, because you have to write an essay on this. Yes, Vishal Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you so much for giving the class today again. So Prabhu says, with reference to that section, it's fine. It says, and share your aspirations. But when you say aspirations, could you just clarify in regards to aspirations?
Very good. Very nice point. I will explain to you, for example, how Nārada Muni, like here you see, Nārada Muni is telling that you must describe the pastimes of the Supreme Lord, and it is definitely going to benefit everyone. But somebody may ask, if Vyasadeva asks, Narada Muni, you are asking me to do this, is there any kind of evidence that definitely it is going to benefit some people? Now Narada Muni is going to speak from his own personal experience how it has helped him. The study of Srimad Bhagavatam has helped him. I mean to say, when you see the life of Nārada, he is describing how you are aspiring, what you are lacking actually in your practice of Krishna consciousness, what is stopping you to be in a proper frame of consciousness, mind, to practice this devotional service in such a way that definitely the appearance of pure devotion will be there in your life. And also you have to ensure that through your aspirations, this will grow onto the stage of prema. That is what I mean to say by your aspirations. Means what you desire to do through studying these sections in terms of applying the principles taught by Narada's personal life's example. How you going to apply those principles in your execution of Krishna consciousness so that your pure bhakti will be developed and it will grow up to the stage of prema. What are your aspirations? How you would like to put yourself in that consciousness, like Narada Muni had that consciousness, or how Narada Muni had attained this pure bhakti. How did he get it? So what you actually you will do in your personal life experience. Is it clear?
Yes, Prabhu, thank you so much.
This is completely personal, so everybody has to write what they feel. Okay, so next 23 to 28. So first he is going to describe about devotee's mercy is the cause of pure bhakti. Okay. Aham puratita bhave bhavam mune dasyastu kasyaschana vedavadinam niropita balaka eva yoginam susrusanam prabhrishinir viviksatam. So he is saying that for Prabhrishi, during the rainy season, I was given the opportunity to solve these Bhakti Vedantas. Those who were living together, observing this Chaturmasya Brata. And what is my identification? Dasyastu. I was the son of a maidservant who was engaged in the service of the Bhakti Vedantas. And Nirupito Balaka Eva Yoginam, actually they were so kind that they engaged me in serving them. Even though I was a small child, but I got the opportunity to serve them personally. So that is the kind of first thing Narada is speaking about himself. Even though he was not a very highly qualified person, born to a maid servant, but he had the opportunity to serve the Bhakti Vedantas, the devotees of the Lord who were engaged in devotional service during 4 months of rainy season. I was engaged in their personal service. They will sometimes tell, like when you see, maybe your child, you have gone to your guru's ashram with your child, small child, then Guru Maharaj said, hey baby, can you bring that pot or can you bring that book for me? So the baby is bringing, and in that way he is getting some engagement, and then Guru Maharaj will bless him. So this is how it started with Narada Muni also. That's how he's saying that devotee's mercy is the cause of pure bhakti. How he was engaged in their personal service that helped him to come to the platform of pure bhakti. Then he's further describing. Te maya peta khiracha palervake dante dhritakridanake nuvartini Chakru kripam jadyapi tulya darshana susrusamane munayalpabhasini. Here, Narad Muni is speaking about the qualities he had as a small child. You can see how Narad Muni became endowed with pure bhakti. These are the qualities he is explaining by himself. Te mai apeta akhila chapole armuke. Dante, she's saying, I was completely sense controlled. Adhrita kridanake anuvartini. Adhrita kridanake. We have seen children normally, they are very much attached to the toy. But from very childhood, Narad Muni was not so much, he was not having any, what do you say, mm, mm, toy with him. And he's saying, no, Alpabhashini, he would not speak more than required. The small baby, sometimes we have seen these qualities in some small babies. And Achapala, he was very calm and quiet. He did not have restlessness like the babies. So he was not restless. He was very, he was sense controlled, and he was not attached to the toy, and he would speak only as much as required. He's not going to speak more than necessary. So these are the qualities we can see in the Narad Muni. He is speaking that he had when he was engaged in the service of personal service of the devotees. Although they were impartial by nature. Chakru kripam jadyapi tulya darshana. They are tulya darshana means they are impartial. They are equal to everyone. Still, they show their mercy upon me. How? Vedanta blessed me with their causeless mercy. As far as I was concerned, I was self-controlled and I had no attachment for sports, even though I was a boy. In addition, I was not naughty and I did not speak more than required. So this is what are your aspirations, that what type of attachment you have for the games and all, or how is your situation? You have to kind of compare with Nagin, then what are you going to do so that you are in the association of devotees and Krishna consciousness movement, and how you are aspiring to develop this pure bhakti. If you follow the footsteps of Narad Muni, definitely it is going to become manifest in your life. There are two types of mercy. Affected by seeing material qualities, gunamai, and affected without seeing material qualities. You see, this mercy have been defined here. Narad Muni is saying, Kripam Chakru. By seeing me, my qualities, they actually blessed me. They were merciful to me. In the common world, those people who are giving mercy, sometimes gunamai kripa is defined like this, that we see some good qualities in someone, then we kind of bless them. If we see they are not having the devoid of good qualities, we see something bad in them, then we don't give mercy to them. But here it is saying nirguna means those who are tulya darshana, they see everybody equally, they don't bother. So in that way, when they offer their blessing to Narad Muni is also saying actually, he said, even though I did not have anything bad in me, they first of all gave their blessing. Then with their blessing, when I started practicing in bhakti, how he's practicing bhakti, next verse is going to be described. Then that attracted more of their mercy. These are the kind of aspirations. How you want to project yourself in the service of some devotees who are becoming merciful to you, and after you have received their mercy and you execute in your life, then you can also receive further mercy from them. This is how. These are the aspirations you need to have. What are you going to do? You need to describe. So this is what Nārada is speaking. And what happened? In the next is saying, Uchistalepan anumodi tadvijahi sakrishna bhunje tadapasta kilvisa evam pravuttasya visuddha chetasa tadharma evatma ruchihi prajayate. How he came to the platform of ruchi is being described here. He's saying once only. By their permission. Uchista lepam anumodita dvijahi. This boy, he was engaged in their personal service. Sometimes after they have finished eating, he will take their pot and he will bring it to wash, to clean the pot. And he could see Uchista lepa. There is some remnants touching in the bowl. And then with their permission, anumodita dvijay. Not that he just take it and start to eat it. Like we do, we sometimes serve more to Guru Maharaj, but Guru Maharaj can leave something for me, or even if doesn't leave, he will force to leave it. It's not like that. Anumodita dvijay. By their permission, I took the remnants of their food, and by so doing, all my sins were at once eradicated. This is the process of becoming free from the sin. In this way, when I was engaged in their service and taking their remnants, I became fully purified. Vishuddha chetasa. Then tadharma evatma ruchi prajayate. That's how I was attracted, I developed the taste for the devotional activities they were executing. Tadharma evatma ruchi prajayate. That means when you are in the good association of devotees who are spiritually advanced and you try to come close to them, in this way you associate with them, automatically you develop the taste for the type of devotional service or ruchi they have in Krishna consciousness. Then the next thing is said, here Prabhupada is speaking, this pure devotion is infectious. How it is infecting someone, you can see. It's like a contagious disease. Can somebody read from the slide? Pure devotion.
Pure devotion. Pure devotion is as much infectious in a good sense as infectious diseases. A pure devotee is cleared from all kinds of sins. By the association of pure devotees, all these obstacles are removed. After the elimination of all sins or obstacles on the path of devotional service, one can become attracted. One can have steadiness. One can have perfect taste. One can have transcendental emotions. And at last, one can be situated on the plane of loving service of the Lord. All these stages develop by the association of pure devotees, and that is the purport of this stanza, 1.5.25 purport.
Ruchi prajayate. All these stages developed by the association of pure devotees, and that is the purport of this stanza. So then the next, what happened when he says that by their association, I also developed the ruchi in the execution of the transcendental activities, what they were engaged in. So now what happened, the next is going to describe in text number 26. The stage of asakti and bhava is coming, is further described in this verse in 26 and 27. Further we're going to describe Before we continue, Prem Kishore Prabhu, you have a question for us?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. The question is, in the paragraph it says that the pure association with the pure devotees will remove all the anarthas and purify the heart. So how do we, what are the qualities, or how do we understand a pure devotee?
How do you understand the pure devotee? Okay. That's why sometimes we try to eliminate all devotees in our society, saying he is not pure, he is not pure, he is not pure, because you don't know who is pure and what is pure thing. You see, definitely devotees like Prabhupada and some advanced souls you can see who are 100% engaged in the service of the Lord. They are equal to all. They don't have any concept of me and mine. And as you see the kind of, from the description of Upadesamrita and Bhakti Sindhu, they are always engaged in the service of the Lord. And also you can say definitely those who are in the level of Bhava, they are definitely pure devotees. Okay. But now the point comes, okay, how can I find someone who is in the level of Bhava all the time? And I am in a congregation, to be practical, that we are in a city or in a temple, not that all devotees are in the level of Bhava, or is that I am always getting the association of my Guru Maharaj. So it is not practical. So therefore, you have to create a pure devotee atmosphere in your congregation. Try to understand this. I said you have to create a pure devotee atmosphere in your congregation. That means our practices are pure practice, like chanting, reading Srimad Bhagavatam, deity worship, okay, cleaning the temple, doing any service for the Lord. These are all pure practices. Okay, Savanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, all these activities are pure. But the problem is we bring in material impurities through our consciousness while engaged in such kind of services. For example, when you go to your congregation program, while Bhagavatam class is going on, you can find still devotees are chit-chatting about their material life. Something has happened to them. Why are you thinking about all these things? As long as you are in, for example, you start this, what do you say, Kirtan Mela, and devotees come together, they sit together to do some chanting. Somebody is in the enjoying spirit, he's making a show of his dance so that people will see what a nice dancer I am. Huh? Kirtan Mela is not for you to promote yourself to become an expert dancer, to promote yourself as an expert dancer. So the point is, one way you can create devotees, pure devotee association is that the Sravanam Kirtanam program, Navadha Bhakti execution should not be mixed with any other aspirations, any other desires. Just you come together, do that. Because Lord wants it, Prabhupada wanted it, your Guru Maharaj wants it, you just do this. Then that association is pure association. For example, sometimes you go to the temple, you sit, for example, this Kirtan Mela time, devotees are singing, you just sit there for a few minutes, you feel like you are floating in ecstasy. That is the power of pure devotion, pure association. So in that way, one way you can choose a group of devotees, if not at least one or two, and you can spend some time discussing pure Krishna consciousness without any interior motives. Okay, that can be pure devotee association. And reading from Prabhupada's books, also association with pure devotees. And if you know some other devotees who does not have any material contamination in terms of name, fame, adoration, aspiration in this material world, they can also be in the category of pure devotee. And their practices, what they say, they follow Shastra, they, what Shastra says, they follow, and they preach the same also, Achar Prachar. So in that way, you can kind of, make an estimate, I would say like that. Okay, so here the next, it is said, the stage of asakti and bhava is explained in this verse 26. Tatrānvaham Krishna katha pragayatam anugrahena shrunavam manohara tasadhyamenu padam visunnata priya savasyangamama bhavadruchi. O Vyasadeva, in that association and by the mercy of those great Vedantists, I could hear them describe the attractive activities of Lord Krishna, and thus, listening attentively, my taste for hearing of the personality of God had increased at every step. Srila Prabhupada, he writes, can somebody read? This is the stage of Bhava or Asakti and Bhava.
By hearing the narration of the pastimes of the Lord, one contacts directly the personality of Godhead. And as explained before, when one hears about the personality of Godhead, all accumulated sins of the mundane nature are cleared from within. Nārada Muni has just explained this by his personal experience. The whole idea is that simply by hearing about the Lord's pastimes, one can become one of the associates of the Lord.
You see,
Purport of 1.526.
In this paragraph, Prabhupada is not mentioning about that you should hear from, of course, it's a hearing from pure devotee, but see, simply by hearing, the whole idea is that simply by hearing about the Lord's pastimes, one can become one of the associates of the Lord. You choose one devotee with whom you are not going to discuss anything but Krishna Katha. Maybe spending good amount of time in studying Bhagavatam or Chaitanya Charitamrita, maybe, Bhakti Samprada Sindhu. So if you are just simply trying to understand the signs that have been explained in that section, and then if you have some doubts, then discuss with a devotee who is much more experienced than both of you. That is sufficient enough as a sadhaka, early stage of our Krishna consciousness. Suman?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhu, we see in Nārada Muni's case that he has already developed these qualities. So,
which quality?
Nārada Muni is saying, right, he was self-control, he was not having an attraction for sports, right from his childhood. But that means he already had a background of devotion, therefore he could develop those qualities, right?
So, what is your question?
No, I'm asking, so in this stage, it is like he's saying getting the association of Bhakti Vedantas and then advancing. This is already from a higher stage, right?
This is nothing from the higher stage. Wherever one may be, if they start associating with the devotees and commit themselves to this process of Shravanam and Kirtanam program, their purification, like before we said, now bhakti does not need any background. We have seen in Nectar of Devotion, we studied, Vasishtha explains to King Dilipa that in the province of Mayuradhyaja, all these people, when they were dressed in Vaishnava attire with tilaka and beads, they look like coming from Vaikuntha. So anyone, and there the explanation have been given, in the month of Magh, anybody can go and take bath in Ganga to take spiritual benefit. Similarly, there is no bar for who can or who cannot practice devotion. Anyone who practices pure devotional service, their growth is very quick, purification is very, very quick. The problem is we don't want purification. Means when you are getting purified, automatically you are getting disinterested from this world. People are speaking something, you are not bothered about it. Or sometimes you are also thinking, why it is people are not respecting me? Why you want respect, my dear sir? So you have to kind of be. This is the point. You need to be more in contact with cultivating this pure devotional activities. That's it. You don't worry about that. You don't have that quality. Nārada Muni had already from the childhood. That quality will become manifest. Sarvai gunastatra samasate sura harava bhaktasya kuta matguna manorathe nasari davata. Why are you traveling so fast with sitting on the chariot of mind? Jasyasti bhakti bhagavati akinchana. Jasya bhagavati akinchana bhakti bhavati. One who has got unalloyed devotion unto the personality of Godhead. The result is Sarvai Gunais Tatra Samasate Sura. All the good qualities of the demigods become automatically manifest in such a devotee. So you just practice devotional service. Siddha Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Many times we see innocent people, they hear from this kind of professional reciters. They're innocent but they want to still hear Krishna Kada, and they hear. So would that hearing has any effect on them? Like, would it uplift, or because it's spoken by a professional reciter, but maybe not a pure devotee, it doesn't have any.
Professional hearing Bhagavatam from professional reciter is not going to help. That's very clear. No, professional reciter, that is not recommended.
Thank you.
In our society. Okay? See, having attained Ruchi test, now became steadily fixed in the Lord. That is explained in the next verse. Tasmins tada labdha ruchir mahamate priya savasya fil skhalita matir mama askhalita matir mama jaya hamet tat sadasat sumayaya pasye mai brahmani kalpitam pare. So here he is saying that tasmin tada labdha ruchir mahamate priyas askhalita mati mama. My askhalita mati. Askhalita mati means his attention was fixed all the time, and as a result of which jasyaham etat sat asat so mayaya pasye mai. Actually, what happens? So maya means so avidyaya kalpitam. That means when we consider this body as the self, or out of ignorance or attachment to the material objects, we lose the attention in Krishna consciousness. Then we are able to see only our relationship with this material world, not with the personality of Godhead. That's why I think, but Nārada Muni is saying, when I attain the Ruchi, here Ruchi means, actually he came to the platform of nearing the Bhava platform. At that time, the avidya kalpita asat asat, he was not experiencing. The gross and subtle matters of this material world was out of touch, or you can say out of his experience. That's how he was able to see. Pasye mai brahmani kalpitam parehe. So I could see that me in my true position am transcendental to the effects of this material world. Just like the Supreme Lord is transcendental to the material energies. That means a devotee, as a sadhaka, when he commits into the process of this Navadha Bhakti process, pure practice of pure devotional service, a stage will come where he will automatically feel distraction. Automatically feel detached from the material associations. That is what is happening. See, Nārada is speaking. Now I can see in my personal life, what am I doing? If by, like we are just few minutes ago, we quoted from Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhakti Parisanubhava Virakti Anyatra. When I am executing God devotional service, my attachment for material things are gradually reducing. Is it so happening? If it is not happening, that means there is something wrong in me. Because I am doing pure practice. For example, just now we are studying this Bhagavatam verse. We are not talking anything mundane. We are not thinking of anything else. So this is a pure practice. That means after reading this Bhagavatam, even though for some time this impression remains in my mind, that's also a good sign. But if it does not remain even for a single moment, then that's not a good sign actually. Many times we have seen when we read, afterwards we feel contented with that mood for some time. That's a good thing actually. That's why Nārada is saying that when he got the ruchi, he became steadily fixed in the Lord. Can somebody read from the slide?
Hare Krishna.
Having attained ruchi, taste, Nārada became steadily fixed in the Lord. Since the gross and the subtle bodies are emanations from the personality of Godhead, the knowledge of light permits one to engage both of them in the service of the Lord. The gross body should be engaged in acts of rendering service to the Lord, as in bringing water, cleansing the temple, or making obeisances, etc. The path of Archana, or worshipping the Lord in the temple, involves engaging one's gross body in the service of the Lord. Similarly, the subtle mind should be engaged in hearing the transcendental pastimes of the Lord, thinking about them, chanting his name, etc. All such activities are transcendental. None of the gross or subtle senses should otherwise be engaged. Such realization of transcendental activities is made possible by many, many years of apprenticeship in the devotional service. But simple attraction of love for the personality of Godhead, as it was developed in Nārada Muni by hearing, is highly effective.
Hearing is highly effective. So here next it is said that in these 4 months of Chaturmasya, as he was dedicatedly hearing in the association of this Bhakti Vedanta, Sankirtyamanam Munivir Mahatmavi Bhakti Pravrittatma Rajastamopaha. Such kind of execution helps one become totally freed from the effect of mood of Raja and Tama. How it is happening? The stage of prema become manifest in Nārada Muni, that somebody can read, then we will explain something here. Some other devotee?
If by the grace of the Lord and the great soul devotees of the Lord, a living being becomes fortunate enough to associate with the unadulterated devotees of the Lord, and thus gets a chance to hear the unadulterated glories of the Lord, certainly the dormant instinct of the devotional service is at once awakened, and the flow of devotional service takes place like the flow of a river. As the river flows on till she reaches the sea, similarly pure devotional service flows by the association of pure devotees till it reaches the ultimate goal, namely transcendental love of God. The flow of devotional service is so potent that any onlooker also becomes liberated from the influence of the modes of passion and ignorance. 1.5.20.
Here it has been described about the association of someone who is totally free from material contamination. That's why Prabhupada is speaking that associate with the unadulterated devotee gets a chance to hear the unadulterated glories of the Lord. When a devotee's motives are perfectly pure, that time he will be able to only describe the unadulterated glories of the Lord. Means he doesn't have any ulterior motive. Why we, for example, if we ask ourselves, why am I engaged in Krishna consciousness? Oh, I want to be happy. Why you want to be happy? Oh, I am suffering. You know, why you are suffering? Do you think this, study of Srimad Bhagavatam, chanting holy name of the Lord, you want to use it to become free from the suffering? You don't know. It can give you love of God, and you are thinking, why I am suffering, I should utilize it for removing my suffering condition of life. No. So what is happening here, you see, Prabhupada is saying, the flow of devotional service is so potent that any onlooker also becomes liberated. In this connection, the association of somebody who is actually in the liberated platform has been very, very highly effective. I wanted to project one person from Nectar Devotion to help you understand how actually this is happening, that somebody who is not very pure and he is just becoming like an onlooker and he becomes liberated. How it is becoming effective on a conditioned soul who is still, in contamination, in the stage of contamination. He is under the influence of passion and ignorance. You just read this. Somebody can read this?
Onlooker also liberated from the influence of the modes of passion and ignorance. Sometimes it is found that a person actually attached to material enjoyment or salvation has the good fortune to associate with pure devotees while they are engaged in chanting the holy name of the Lord. By the good grace of the Lord, one may also cooperate and join in the chanting at that time. At that time, simply by the association of such pure devotees, the moon-like rays from their hearts reflect on him, and by the influence of the pure devotees, he may show some likeness of attachment caused by inquisitiveness. But this is very flickering, and if by the manifestation of such shadow attachment one feels the disappearance of all material pangs, then it is called para attachment. Nectar of Devotion, chapter 18.
You see, what is happening? Sometimes we go to the holy places, to the temple. There you come across some devotees who are engaged in chanting or reading Srimad Bhagavatam or doing something, devotional activities. When such a person who is having attachment for material enjoyment, he goes to ashram and he finds a devotee engaged in such kind of chanting or reading Bhagavatam. Then at that time, simply by the association of such pure devotee, means he develops some desire that, I want to just sit with him, I want to listen to him, I also want to kind of spend some time with him. Then what happens? By spending some time, because he has become inquisitive, he will kind of develop some sort of likeliness to that practice, and by the influence of the devotee, this shadow attachment will kind of become manifest. But again, this shadow attachment for Krishna conscious activities, it will be flickering because he has got material enjoyment. The desire for material enjoyment is still there. But if he continues to associate with such a devotee more and more, then gradually the disappearance of all material pains will take place. And at that time, his attachment will be para-attachment. He will also become free from the influence of the modes of passion and ignorance, even goodness also. So that is where, again, we are saying that when you are kind of employing yourself in the execution of Krishna consciousness, you should be totally free from any ulterior motives, but just simply commit yourself to the practice of Shravanam Kirtan program. In fact, somebody may ask this question, Prabhu, what you are saying is totally impossible. Definitely, when we are in this body, we are grahasthas, we have got children, we have got family members to take care, we have got social responsibility, so many obligations are there. How can I become just like such a Kevala Bhakta? It's not practical. It so happened actually, Krishna, he told Arjuna, he said, Arjuna, you cannot become a Kevala Bhakta, and you are not supposed to be on Sakama platform either. If Arjuna says, my dear Lord, what do you want me to do? No, you become Niskama Karma Jnana Mishra Pradhani Bhuta Bhakta. So in that way, that we're going to discuss that what actually the practice we should undertake so that we can be the practitioners of Niskama Karma Jnana Mishra Pradhani Bhuta Bhakta. That have been described in the next. So we will just skip a few slides. See, Karma Mishra Bhakti is superior to Bhakti Mishra Jnana that have been described here in this section, text number 35 and 36. I have to currently, because there's not much time, I will not read all the verses, just a few points. This is a very important section. Let us read from this slide, then we will take some practical guidelines for our execution of Krishna consciousness. Can somebody read?
The general and popular notion is that by discharging fruitive work in terms of the direction of the scriptures, one becomes perfectly able to acquire transcendental knowledge for spiritual realization. Bhakti Yoga is considered by some to be another form of karma, but factually, Bhakti Yoga is above both karma and jnana. Bhakti Yoga is independent of jnana or karma. On the other hand, jnana and karma are dependent on Bhakti Yoga. The Lord does not want his sons, the living beings, to suffer the threefold miseries of life. He desires that all of them come to him and live with him. But going back to Godhead means that one must purify himself from material infections. When work is performed, therefore, to satisfy the Lord, the performer becomes gradually purified from the material affection. This purification means attainment of spiritual knowledge. Therefore, knowledge is dependent on karma or work done on behalf of the Lord. Other knowledge, being devoid of bhakti yoga or satisfaction of the Lord, cannot lead one back to the kingdom of God, which means that it cannot even offer salvation, as already explained in connection with the stanza beginning Naishkarmam api achyuta bhava varjitam. 1512. Yeah. Thanks.
So here the kind of science of bhakti is clearly defined. That how one should execute this bhakti yoga process while in this material world, when he has still some obligation for karma, so that he can be, on the path of bhakti, and he will progress. So here, karma mishra bhakti is superior to bhakti mishra jnana. See, even bhakti mishrena karmana bhakti mishram jnanam moksha sadhanam bhavati iti uttam. When one is executing bhakti mishra karma, then he will come to this platform of bhakti mishra jnana, and from there he will actually attain moksha, okay, liberation. But the point is, if he is cultivating this bhakti mishra karma, that is, bhakti part is less and karma part is more. That will lead to, again, bhakti part is less, jnana part is more. That means that is going to lead to impersonal approach, okay? And that may highest help bring him to the point of becoming free from the miseries of this world. But this is not the case. Our point is karma mishra bhakti. Here karma mishra bhakti means bhakti is mixed with karma. That means bhakti is predominant. Okay, as I said, as a grihastha, we cannot totally give up karma or jnana. At the same time, I cannot become a Kevala Bhakti. Then what should be the way of executing Bhakti so that I know I am growing gradually from where I am to the perfectional stage? While executing all these activities, even the kind of, even though we have to perform some material duties in this world, what is the mood a devotee need to cultivate? Krishna is speaking, no, sarva karmanya pisada kurbana mad vipasya mad prasadat avapnoti saswata padam abhyayam. He is saying, sarva karmanya pisada. A devotee is not only engaged in Vaidika karma, he is performing Vaidika Laukika also. Here it is said that bhaktastu bhagavat swami katve naiva atmanam jananta Swakartavyam Vaidikam Laukikam Dahikam cha karma Swa Prabhu Pravartyamanam Pratyanta Sarva Meva Tasmin Samarpayanti Iti Mahan Veda. See the difference between we engaged in some material activities, which is also called as karma, and a person who is engaged in some ritualistic activities that are offered in the Veda. What is the difference? Somebody may ask, Prabhu, you are saying you are a devotee of Krishna, but you still keep going to work in a computer company. You are a software engineer. At least I am a Vedic Brahmana. I am engaged in doing this, Nitya Homo, this, what do you say? Anyway, there are some kind of rituals they perform. I am engaged in performing all the Vedic activities. I am better than you. And then you are going to a kind of company and working there. Who is better? My position is better. It looks like, you have nothing to say. But try to understand, this man is engaged in some Vedic ritualistic activities. He knows that without, let me read it out, that will be better for you. He knows that, okay, karmino hi karma vaifalya abhavartham vaidikam karmarpayanti. He knows that all these Vaidika karmas, if I am not offering to the Lord, then I will not get the result. That's why he is doing this Vaidika karma and offering to the Lord so that he is getting the result. But in case of a devotee, even though he is engaged in some laukika, even dahika karma, karoti jatsa sakalam parasmai, kayena bacha manasendriyarva buddhyatmana banu sutta swabhava. You see how many ways we are engaged in activities. Kayena, with our body, we do some activity. With our words, we also kind of do some activity. Manasa, in your mind, you are thinking, you are doing something. Manasa, kayana bacha, indriyarva, by your senses, okay? And buddhi, buddhyatmana ba anusutta swabhava. By your nature, you are committed to perform some dahika karma also. So when you say you are engaged in such kind of activities, what should be the proper mood? That you are different from a person who is performing Vaidika karma and surrendering to the Lord. The difference is, you as a devotee, Bhagavat Swami Katve Naiva Atmanam Jananta. You know your Lord and Master is Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is your Lord and Master. First point. Okay? And then with that conception, whatever activities you are doing, mat prabhu pravartyamanam pratyanta sarvameva tasmin samarpanti. That means whatever you are doing as an offering to the him, to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to become a perfect Vaishnava. That is why Krishna said, Sarva Karmanyapi Sada Kurbana Mad Vyapasra. Mad Vyapasra means in all endeavors, he is totally dependent on him. So in that way, even though it looks like he has to perform some karma which is mixed with bhakti, but he is in a better situation. That's Mahan Veda, because he has accepted him as a servant of the Supreme Lord, and Lord is his master, and whatever he is doing, that is under the direction of the Supreme Lord he is engaged. Ato eva atra jad asnasi iti, just like he's speaking, jat kroshi jad asnasi jad juhoshi dasi jat. When you are eating, you tell me, what do you think as a Vaishnavi? You think, I am honoring this Mahaprasadam to survive on this body so that I can serve my Lord again. You are not thinking that I am eating this Krishna conscious prasadam, I am eating the prasadam, I want to become a fat man, I want to look very beautiful, I want to decorate my body with nice things. It's not like that. You are not just trying to lead a healthy life. Rather, you want to lead a healthy life for Krishna conscious activities. There's a difference. Like we give the kind of example that the lady, she decorates herself not to attract other people, but to attract her husband. She wants to present herself very nicely before her husband. So this is what it is, the kind of devotee is thinking, I want to do everything, whatever I am doing at the end, the goal is to serve the Lord. So that's why there is a big difference. That is what have been defined in the next verse. Kurvana jatra karmani bhagavat sikhya sakrit. By Bhagavad Siksha, whatever Lord has said, Jat Krosh Yadasnashi, these are the Siksha, Sabda Sarva Dharman Paritteja, these are the Siksha of the Lord. Gnanti Gunanamani Krishna Syanam Smaranti Cha. So in the association of devotees, he is engaged in glorifying the Lord. If somebody is available to hear, then he starts speaking. If nobody is there, then he himself is reading and releasing. Or somebody is here to talk to him, then he will try to listen from them. This is what it is. Gnanti, Gunanamani, Krishna Syanam Smaranti. In this way, he cultivates, he tried to meditate on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Karma Mishra Bhakti, Super Bhakti Mishra Gyan. An expert devotee of the Lord can mold his life in such a way that while performing all kinds of duties, either for this or the next life, he can constantly remember the Lord's name, fame, qualities, etc. The order of the Lord is distinctly there in the Bhagavad Gita. That's of course that is the point, that is the verse. One should work only for the Lord in all spheres of life, in every spheres of life, and like the Lord should be situated as the proprietor. You accept Lord is the proprietor, not Prabhu. He has actually asked me to do all these activities. That's why I am doing. Otherwise, you have got no business in doing all these activities. The next, apart from such Vedic duties, even in our ordinary dealings, for example, in our household affairs or in our business or profession, we must consider that the result of all activities must be given over to the Supreme Enjoyer, Lord Krishna. In the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord has declared himself to be the Supreme Enjoyer of everything. That means you accept he is the enjoyer, not you. A pure devotee remembers this constantly, and in doing so, you are always remembering this. And in doing so, he repeats the transcendental name, fame, and qualities of the Lord, which means that he is constantly in touch with the Lord. The Lord is identical with his name, fame, etc. And therefore, to be constantly associating with his name, fame, etc. means actually to associate with the Lord. That means you, even if you are going to a business place, you are going to market or going to the kind of your job, you are thinking, oh, when can I go back to home so that I can spend some time with my family member to read or to chant, to do arati of the Lord. And I have to kind of, okay, now you are in the market. You are thinking, oh, I'm getting late. Now it is time for me to put my Lord, my deity to sleep, to rest. So you are kind of thinking in your mind like that. Not necessarily a karmi who is just performing this Agnishtama Yajna, and he is thinking that now it is time for me to go back and put my Lord into sleep. He's not thinking like that. Whereas you are thinking, oh, this is the time for Rajbuk. Now I have to go make an offering. Mataji is thinking, it's getting late. So this is how your position is superior to those who are engaged in just some Vedic rituals. Next, in this section, it explained Bhakti Mishra Karma leads to Bhakti Mishra Jnana leads to moksha, maximum liberation. Whereas Karma Mishra Bhakti leads to Jnana Mishra Bhakti leads to Rati, to the Lord along with liberation. This is called Santa Bhakti. So if you are at least performing Karma Mishra Bhakti, we are putting Bhakti as the priority, and as you have been taught by your Guru, Prabhupada is speaking, if you continue that practice, then definitely you have a bright future in Krishna consciousness. Any question or comment, dear devotees? Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah.
The Gunamai mercy. So Gunamai mercy, it means that a devotee sees some qualities and
No. See. This is the Gunamai Kripa is like outside people, right? When they give mercy, they see something good on the basis of their qualities, then they give. If they don't see, there is some kind of, you can say the distinction is there. If you are working in a company, this is a best example, and your company sees you are performing well by seeing some good quality, they give you some bonus. And next year you don't perform, they're not going to give you bonus, right? That is Gunamai Kripa. But Nirguna Kripa is, that is only sadhus do. They don't see anything. Whether you have some quality or not, they are out of their goodwill, good wishes. They give you mercy, Kripa. That's what Nārada is saying. That is Nirguna.
So my question was, then in case of Gunamai mercy, I mean, we always know that bhakti is the cause of bhakti. So, but in case of Gunamai mercy, isn't the root cause is the qualities that the person has that the devotee pass on the mercy?
No, that is what is happening. This Gunamai Kripa is not helping the that person to transcend this material world. He's stuck here. But Nirguna Kripa is helping the performer to kind of transcend this world. This is the difference. In that context, you try to understand the difference between Gunamai Kripa and Nirguna Kripa. Don't bring in this Gunamai Kripa into the realm of devotion. And that is discussed in terms of how it is keeping somebody bound in this material world. He is not getting free from the entanglement of birth, death, old age, and disease. That is Gunamai Kripa. Samsarina. Prem Kishore Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Question is how Karma Mishra Bhakti is better than Jnana Mishra Bhakti? Isn't that Jnana leads to a realization of Krishna and then leads us to serve in Krishna consciousness?
Jnana?
It is the Jnana which will lead us to the knowledge of Karma and Karma Mishra Bhakti. So isn't that Jnana Mishra Bhakti which leads to Karma Mishra Bhakti? Or Jnana?
No. This Jnana Mishra Bhakti, where there are a lot of paths in that. What is happening is, unless this Jnana Mishra Bhakta comes in contact with a Vaishnava, they will be easily kind of taken away with a desire to merge with the Brahman or with the body of the Brahman. Like, for example, here today we are discussing how the living entities and the Supreme Lord are transcendental to the material modes in their pure state. A kind of Mayavadi, he will say when the Jiva, living entity, transcends these material qualities, he becomes one with the Lord. That is very dangerous. That is why, but in Karma Mishra Bhakti, that is why we explained Karma Mishra Bhakti means Niskama Karma Jnana Mishra Pradhani Bhuta Bhakti. That is the understanding. A devotee understands his situation, like you are in the material world, you are not giving up karma, your obligation to the society, to family and friends. But a jnani, they may sometimes prematurely renounce the activities. Nahi kastit khanamapi jatu tishtatya karmakrit. You cannot just remain inactive. As long as we continue to live in this world, we have to perform some activity. But a jnani, at certain stage, they stop performing activities because they feel this is binding me. Why I should perform these activities? That's why they are in lower position. We know by following Yukta Vairagya principle, this same, like here we did not read, the example have been given, the same food item, like for example, by taking milk, you have developed some disease, bowel disorders. And by taking the another milk product, therapeutically, that is called yogurt, you can cure the disease which is caused by milk. So similarly, this activity which is for us to stay in this world, that can also liberate us when you perform in the platform of niskama. Niskama means you do for the Lord. But a jnani, he is not doing the activity for the Lord. He is trying to just renounce the activity prematurely. That's why that is inferior.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you, sir.
Prema Gaurangi Mataji.
Prabhuji, my question is regarding the Nirguna Kripa. So just to understand that, I have a situation like in my family itself. My sister, she has a little boy, a little son, and she since the before my nephew was born, she's been serving different, like all the gurus, Srila Prabhupada's disciples, or any traveling preacher who would come. She has converted her home into like an ashram. They will come and stay at her home and do Bhagavad Katha and all, Pandal program and all. So my nephew, he had a difficult birth, and he is a special child. So he needs lots of attention and all. So he doesn't listen to class, he doesn't chant, he doesn't sing, but he loves the association of the sannyasis and all the traveling preachers. So and then sometimes like other devotees, when they come to the program, they kind of put doubt in my sister's mind that this child is a little bit disturbing the class, or this child is not behaving, or something like that. So my sister gets a little bit like nervous and feels like, okay, am I doing the right thing? So, but when you explain the Nirguna Kripa, like I see, just to give an example, like the child will not talk to the sannyasi, but as soon as he sees sannyasi coming home, he will go and run and grab him and hug him. So I see that the Maharajas will come and give him mercy, and they will come and talk in a different level with him, not like philosophy. So what my question is, is there any offense being done in the part of my sister or the child, or should she continue in that kind of service, continue serving, and eventually the child will get blessed? Like, what's your thought about that, Prabhu?
How old the child is?
Right now he's 10.
Okay. You see, the conditions so when the child was born, from these sanskaras like Garbhadana and other sanskaras, they perform.
Yes. And
Everything was done.
her Guru Maharaj named him Krishna Kripa.
Okay. So what is happening is, this boy has got some kind of previous sanskara. That's why he is in that mood. But I would say, don't worry about that part. He's at least not kind of being offensive. And sometimes the children are like that, you understand. They out naughty behavior, they will. Children are children. You cannot expect them to behave like a mature person. And I would say he's in good association. But what you just described to me, I don't know much about it. I'm in a boy, but I feel sorry about it. Actually, it will just take. It's a question. This boy is in good association, and his house every day they are receiving some sadhu. I have nothing to comment here. Any other point? Any other question or comment? No, okay. Wow, you have been so nice, huh? So today we mostly spend time in discussing the points. These are the objectives today. understanding, explain the glories of good devotion, especially in these 3 verses, 17 to 19. Explain the way of appearance of devotion and its proof, till prema in the life of Nārada Muni. We established Karma Mishra Bhakti is equal to Bhakti Mishra Dhyana. Okay, Hare Krishna. Read this quote for today. Somebody can
Shri
read.
Nārada ji advised Vyasadeva to describe the glories of the Lord, just to do good to all 8 classes of men, both good and bad. Srimad Bhagavatam is therefore not meant for any particular class of men or sect. It is for the sincere soul who actually wants his own welfare and peace of mind. 1540 purport.
So this Bhagavatam is meant for all. There is no particular reading assignment except just read the entire chapter for next class. Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Thank you,
Krishna.
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we are expecting
Hare
you to write
Krishna.
only one open book assignment for unit
Hare
2.
Krishna.
I have given the question to you today. You can start working on your open book assignment from tomorrow onwards.
So is that
Yes?
Thank you very much, Prabhu.
3 questions on the open book assignment? Only 1 question?
Only one question for this unit.
Okay.
This question what I gave, not in the handbook. I want you to kind of meditate on this life of Nārada Muni and how he developed the taste for pure devotional service in the association of the devotees, and then how through their association he came to the point of achieving bhava and to the level of prema. And whatever we have discussed today in the next chapter, we're going to discuss the next 2 stages, prematha darshanam and hare madhurya anubhava. Means now he is kind of ready, he has achieved the prema, and next he is going to see darshan of the Lord, get darshan of the Lord, and then he will experience the sweetness of the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Thank you.
That
What is the deadline to submit open book question assignment?
Can you ask Sudama Gopa Prabhu?
Okay, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Don't delay. I would say, if you ask me, I am saying you can submit it by the start of next unit.
Thank you,
Unit
Prabhu.
3.
Thank you.
We have got 2 more lessons to complete unit 2, and then, oh, somebody is saying, I don't understand what the question is. Who is this? I don't understand what the question is. Shanti. You didn't see the question I presented on the slide?
I must have missed it. I can't see. I don't understand. I was clicking all the questions and I didn't. I'm not understanding it directly. Sorry, Prabhu.
Okay. So what I'll do is we will send the slide, all of you. Then as you go to the slide, you can see the question in the slide. Open book question.
Thank you.
Did anyone take a picture of that slide today?
Yes, Prabhu, I have taken. I can put it.
Then you can send it in the group immediately so that everybody will have this right now. And I think you have received the slide for the last 2 lessons, lesson number 1 and 2. Am I
Yes,
correct?
Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. Vishal Prabhu?
Prabhu, I want to ask you, just for unit 2, is there an exam? If there's only one OBA, is there an exam as well? Because we've got 2 more.
Closed book exam is there. Yes, closed book exam will be there.
Could you tell us when that is? Because I've got another exam for another course soon.
Okay, that will be like you see, we have got 2 more lessons. We will finish this unit 2 into Saturday. Sorry, yeah, today Saturday for me.
Yes.
Saturday, then the 3rd Saturday will be your test.
Okay, Prabhu.
That is
All right.
Jan
Okay,
23rd.
Jan 23rd. Okay. She is very
Okay,
clever.
Prabhu. Thank you.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Gopi. Okay. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Pancha
Kalpatarubhyascha
Kalpataru.
Pattanam Pavanebhyo
Omnibhyo
Vaishnavebhyo
Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namo.
Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Thank you, Prabhu.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, everybody.
Thank you.